In this video, we are going to continue to look at some items that could occur on an electrical apprenticeship or aptitude test. We're going to explore some number sense, things like scientific notation, rounding, and estimating. So first off, it says, from the list of numbers below, select the one which is a percentage, so that's your 75%, a decimal, which is 16.37, a fraction, which is 3/8. That's a proper fraction. A mixed number usually has a whole number with a fraction, so that's 3 1/4. A ratio, you see, has those dots. That 5 to 4 can also be written as 5/4. And an angle. So they're just checking that you know the notation is dealing with numbers. The next portion here says to arrange in ascending order. So that means from smallest to largest. So negative numbers on a number line, let me just give you a little sample of a number line here. Negative numbers get more negative to the left. Positive numbers, excuse me, get more positive to the right. So if we arrange these, let's kind of think about where they would fall on a number line. The one to the furthest right would be -8, then -2, then 0, then 1/2 would be real close there, and then 3.7 right before 4. So let's think of, if you think of them in number line order, our number line goes from smallest to largest, from left to right. So then we can just arrange them very quickly. So we get -8, -2, 0, 1/2, 3.7, and 4. Okay. Now, descending order would go the exact opposite way. Now, we have some fractions here. So let's think about their decimal. 1/4 is a common fraction. Most people will know that decimal. If you did 1 divided by 4, you're going to get 0.25. 1/3 is a 3 repeating. 2/3 is a 6 repeating. And you can check that by doing 2 divided by 3. And then 3/10 is 0.3. Okay. So descending order means we're going to go this time from highest to lowest. And if you think about, if we make these all about the same length, so if we make this that 0.3, 0.30, the highest one is 0.6, like 66, if you see that. So that's 2/3. The middle one is 0.30, so 0.3. The lowest one is 1/4, or 0.25. Okay. Now let's talk about scientific notation. Scientific notation works so that we want a number that is a value between 1 and 10. It can equal 1 but not 10. Yeah, I'll give you an example. Like 2.5 times 10 to the 5th. That really means 2.5 times a 1 with 5 zeros on it. So that would move our decimal place 5 over to the right. And so it's really the number 250,000. But 2.5 times 10 to the -5 would move it the exact opposite way. It would move our decimal place to the left 5 places, and that's why you get that. And the only other alternative is if you have a 10 to the 0, that is just 2.5. Okay, so we want to move the decimal place for all of these numbers so that our number in the front is always between 1 and 9. So we want our decimal place for this first one to be there. So we want it to be 1.7601. We have moved the decimal place 4 places to accomplish that. So it is a +4. Now, if we're moving that decimal place back to the right to get to its original spot, that's how we know it's a positive. So the next one, we're going to put it right there. So that's 7.29123. And we had to move the decimal place 5 places to do that. Now, C is our first one where we get a number that is less than 10. So in that case, we're going to have to make our decimal place negative. So that's going to be 1.5. We have moved our decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So that's going to be times 10 to the negative fourth. And the way you could check that is you could do 1.5 divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10 4 times. Okay? And then finally, we only have to move this one time. We are moving it over in the direction that is a positive. So that's going to be 10 to the first. Okay, so that's some scientific notation examples. And then finally on this page, we're going to look at some rules of powers and square roots. So let's take a look at this notation. That 10 with a power of 2, that means 10 times 10. So that's 100. 3 to the third, that means 3 times 3 times 3, or 27. So that notation means you're going to take whatever your base number is, and however many is in the power, that's how many times you will multiply it again and again and again. Now let's go the opposite way. Okay, so if we have 3 to the fourth, that is 81. 2 to the third, that's going to be 8. So if we take a look at this notation, that is a square root. So let's look at squares. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25. So if we square root 4, it undoes that and we get 2. If we square root 9, we get 3. If we square root 16, we get 4. If we square root 25, we get 5. So the process of a square root is to undo the squaring. So we're asking ourselves in C, what number squared gives me 36? And the answer is 6. Now, D is kind of a trick because these two things should cancel each other out, but let's check it. If I take the square root of 9, what number squared is 9? That's 3. But if I have a square in it, it goes right back to 9. So they just wanted to illustrate that those two things are opposites of one another. So there's a little bit of review math for you. I hope that helps. There will be more videos to come. And if there's any particular topic that you're studying for the test for and you want to see sooner rather than later, please just comment for the video and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Okay, thanks. I hope this helps.